Hello everyone and welcome. Kara here, sharing guidance today on the upcoming lunar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius, and this is kicking off eclipse season, and it's actually happening at a new eclipse point, 16 degrees of Sagittarius. So there's a lot of new energy coming in that we are working with, a lot of activations, and I'm so glad that I'm doing this video days before this full moon is actually happening, because no doubt you are feeling this energy already. Eclipse season is huge. Eclipses are major energetic resets. And where this is happening on a new eclipse point, we are activating a new portal. And I can't wait to dive into this today. I have my charts up behind me and so much goodness to share. So much goodness. So as you jump on, say hi. It is great to have you here. Feel free to share what you are releasing and letting go of in this full moon energy. So it is a lunar eclipse, meaning it's a full moon. So while we are stepping into quantum expansion, we have this new portal opening up. There's also an element of releasing and letting go that we always see with the full moon energy. So say hi as you jump on so I can welcome you in. If you are new to me, it is so wonderful to have you here. If you've been following me for a while, I love and appreciate you so much. So I am a master astrologer. I'm also an Akashic Records practitioner, and I love supporting you in elevating your life and business by aligning with cosmic intelligence. So hello, Lisa. Let me just say hi to some of the people jumping in here. Jillian, how are you? Jen and Teresa, feel free to share this out as well. If you have astrology lovers in your life who you know like to follow eclipse season or these lunar cycles, there's going to be a lot of powerful information that I will share with you today that will really help you navigate this powerful time of up-leveling, this powerful time of change. So let's begin. Let's dive in here. So the eclipse is happening in the sign of Sagittarius, and because it's a full moon, we're working with the Sagittarius-Gemini axes. So the Sagittarius energy is a fire sign, and it's very optimistic. It has a very spiritual vibe to it as well. It's all about expansion. It's ruled by Jupiter, and this is the energy that I'm really feeling around this lunar eclipse, around this full moon, is this energy of massive expansion. This energy of opening up to new possibilities, opening up to new adventures. Sagittarius is also the archetype of the adventurer and the freedom lover. So don't fence me in, I have to be free. It's also connected to higher consciousness and higher wisdom. So it's where we make that transition from just gathering information and knowing the facts to actually turning it into wisdom. It is the energy of the philosopher. Now, in the shadow side, it can be, what always comes to mind with this is the grass is greener on the other side. So it's that seeker, that feeling of constantly seeking but never arriving or never finding. So it's like, if I just go on this next adventure, the next journey, that's where I'm going to find my joy and my satisfaction. And it can also be the energy of not fully following through or completing the things that we begin. So that's some of the shadow energy that we work with Sagittarius. But overall, especially as it relates to this full moon, I'm feeling expansion, I'm feeling an opening up, I'm feeling a newfound optimism, and lots of spiritual activations happening for people. New spiritual gifts coming on board, new wisdom being downloaded. Really, really powerful stuff. Hello, Laura. How are you? So great to have you here. Hello, Karen. If you're jumping in now, feel free to share what you are releasing and letting go of in this full moon energy. So we're stepping into this powerful time of expansion, of growth. So it's really helpful to look at what no longer has a place in my life. What belief patterns are outdated and I don't want to bring with me on this new journey? What way of showing up in the world no longer has a place? This energy will support you in releasing it. It's so powerful. So opposite this full moon in Sagittarius, we have the sun in Gemini, and it is conjunct Venus in Gemini. Now the Gemini energy is actually very much in focus right now. Very, very much in focus, because we recently had the North Node shift into Gemini. And we're already seeing how this change is influencing us collectively. So the Gemini energy is all about sharing information, sharing our opinion, having the courage to speak our truth and share our truth with the world. And we're going to see more and more teachers stepping up. So we're moving away from this idea that we see in the Sagittarius energy of having this overall guru, or this teacher with lots of followers that gets like the final say. And we're seeing more and more people stepping up, sharing their truth, sharing their ideas, stepping up as leaders and teachers, no longer holding back from what they know they are here to share with the world, no longer holding back out of fear from sharing their opinion and their perspective. I know I'm seeing and experiencing that already as I look on social media and seeing more people having the courage to step up and just embrace who they fully are. And we are just at the beginning of this North Node moving into Gemini. So this is just going to be amplified. We're going to see more of this. It's a beautiful, beautiful time for spiritual leaders and teachers to really rise up into their power. Because we're seeing that too. I actually created a whole program around this that kicked off last week, the Lightworkers Rise Academy, because lightworkers really are on the rise right now. We're seeing spiritual teachers step up and just, it's a really beautiful, powerful transition. So the Gemini energy is also inviting us into curiosity, into playfulness. It's a mutable energy inviting us to go with the flow, to stay open-minded, to be willing to see things in a new way. So we are in the midst of Gemini season now. And just days before the eclipse happens, we have a really, really powerful meetup between the Sun and Venus. And I took a little while to really feel into this energy and how it's coming through, because this is a powerful meetup. And it's really kind of paving the way for what we are experiencing at the time of the full moon. Even at the time of the full moon, Venus and the Sun are still very close in the sign of Gemini. So right now we have Venus retrograding, and Venus, I always refer to her as the goddess of love, of beauty, of prosperity. It is one of the embodiments of the divine feminine energy that we see in astrology. It also governs what we love in the world, what we value in the world, very linked to our relationships. And while it's been retrograde, so as I film this today, record this live with you today, Venus is currently in retrograde motion. And it's a really powerful time to begin exploring and looking at your core values, the core value system in your life. And you really become aware during a Venus retrograde of where you are doing things out of obligation and the energy of I should be doing this. I have to be doing this. So when Venus retrogrades, it's really hard to get motivated to do things that actually don't light you up and that don't give you that sense of joy and fulfillment. Let me know if you're feeling that, if this is resonating. Hello, Jaya. Welcome, beautiful. Hello, Jen. Jen's saying here, it's a little harder to see comments on my phone, but I am going to do my best. Jen, I definitely have stepped up, got some amazing creative ideas in alignment with my passion and business. Beautiful stuff. Laura is seeing that too. Yeah, more teachers, more leaders stepping up, and we are just in the beginning phase of the North Node moving into Gemini. So this trend is not going to stop. And I think it's a really, really good trend that people are having that confidence and courage to share their truth, share their voice in the world. Because if you have something you're feeling called to share, there's people who are meant to receive it, and their life can really transform from hearing it. So really beautiful shift. Yeah. So we're definitely working with that energy. So to go back to this Venus retrograde that we're in the midst of, exploring our values, exploring what we really love in the world, it can be a deepening of our relationships. Like if you are in a relationship with somebody that you just love, this can be a time of deepening that connection. It can also be a beautiful time to do healing work in your relationships as well. So we're working with that Venus retrograde days before the eclipse. It's going to meet up with the Sun in Gemini. So as I feel into this energy, there was actually a lot of powerful downloads that I felt coming through around this. So to give a little bit of background, in astrology, the Sun, your Sun sign, which is also known as your zodiac sign, is your personality. It's how you show up in the world. So when we come into these physical bodies, I believe we take on these different archetypes, these different roles that we want to play, and we know it's going to support our unique soul journey that we are on, as well as spark expansion for the collective as well. So in a way, it can also be seen as our ego, but I don't even mean ego in a negative way. It's simply our identity, it's our personality, it's the way that universal energy can uniquely flow through us. Now, where the ego, or being overly attached to the ego, can hold us back from truly stepping into our destiny is when we get caught up in old stories. We get caught up in old programming that really isn't serving or supporting our highest and best good. So with this meetup at the time of the eclipse between Venus and the Sun in the sign of Gemini, you may see, so I'm just trying to feel into how to explain this. It can be areas of your life where you are seeking approval, seeking love, seeking worthiness outside of you. So this feeling of, when I make a certain amount of money, then I'm going to be worthy. When I find my soulmate partner, then I'm going to be worthy. You may already find some of this energy coming up a little bit, like this feeling of, have I done enough yet? Am I acceptable now? Am I worthy now? Have I done enough work to really have what I desire come into my experience? Like, all these questions can come in with Venus retrograding and meeting up with the Sun in Gemini. So we can see some of the shadow side of the ego, and where we are in that desire to prove our worthiness or desire to prove our value. And this is the beautiful thing when I work within the space of the Akashic Records, with, like, when I enter that space for myself, or when I'm doing sessions with others and we access that space, you really feel to the core of your being that you are worthy because you exist. There's nothing you need to prove in order to be worthy. Like, you just are. You're worthy of your desires. You have done enough to achieve what you desire. Like, we really feel that energy. But at the time of the lunar eclipse, there may be that ego drive coming in, like, have I done enough? Am I accepted? Am I lovable now? So if you notice that come up, don't go into a spiral of guilt or shame. See that as an opportunity to deepen into self-love, to deepen into your own worthiness, and not needing that to be reflected externally, to really trust that's something you find within. And this is where we kind of deepen the unfolding of what's happening around this lunar eclipse when we start to look at some of the aspects that are coming in, because there is this very spiritual element that's happening as well. So before I go into that, I just want to check in with the comments here. Hello, Nikki. How are you, beautiful? Hello, Leanne. Laura's feeling this. Alice, happy full moon. Isabel is here as well. Karen, spot on. Thank you, goddess. So great to have you. So if you are just jumping in now, feel free to share how you're experiencing these energies, what's coming up for you. If you want to share what you are releasing and letting go of in this full moon energy, I will lovingly hold that space for you, because it is a lunar eclipse. So any full moon, there's always an element of amplification of what we're feeling internally is really amplified. There's also that invitation to release and let go of what is no longer serving or working for us in our life. So feel free to share what you are just saying. I'm leaving this behind. This is not coming with me on my journey of expansion as I move forward. And especially a lunar eclipse, and there's going to be a series of 3 eclipses. So this upcoming one is just the beginning. It's kicking off eclipse season. So really, really powerful. Okay. So at the time of the eclipse, we looked at the Sagittarius energy, right, where the full moon is actually happening. We looked at the opposition to that with the Sun and Venus in the sign of Gemini, where our ego may come up, and it's that invitation to sink more deeply into love. There's also a T-square formation that's happening. And a T-square formation is the opposition between the moon and the Sun, and they're both squaring over to Mars in Pisces. And this adds a whole new beautiful element to this energy. So the Piscean energy and Mars in Pisces being a big, big part of eclipse season, we are really invited to transcend, to rise up, to connect to our higher self, to basically get out of our own way, to look at the ways that we've held ourselves back by outdated fears and beliefs and getting too caught up in our old stories. And we are really being called to transcend, to rise above this. So for many people, this eclipse can be like a spiritual awakening. I know many people that follow my work, it's like you've been through the spiritual awakenings. You've felt your intuition coming on board. So for you, this eclipse can be new insights, new divine downloads on how how to move forward with these new codes that have been activated within you. This new wisdom, this new desire to serve, this new connection that you feel to your higher self and spirit team. It's going to be just amplified at the time of the eclipse. And honestly, like, let me know if you're feeling it now. I think some people are already feeling it. Leanna's saying the 5th is my birthday. No way. Wow. That is going to be a powerful solar return for you. So each year on our birthday, we have our solar return, and it actually kicks off like it's our new astrological year, and we take our new chart with us. So we have a birth chart, which always stays the same. That's your divine soul blueprint. That's the energy you came into this world with. I actually have, this is a little sidetrack, but for anyone that is wanting to know about your unique soul blueprint, I do have a flash sale on one of my courses right now, Explore Your Divine Blueprint with the Power of Astrology, where you learn how to read your birth chart, how to work with your unique cosmic code, the energy in your chart. And you also have access to me in a private Facebook community to ask any questions that you have about your chart, and I will answer them for you. I'll make sure you know how to work with your divine soul blueprint to really fulfill your life path and purpose, and to be completely tapped in and connected to your unique manifesting powers. So just message if you're interested in that. Now, going back to this idea of the solar return. So each year on our birthday, we have a solar return chart that's created, and that's our new energy signature for the year ahead. So if you're having your birthday at the time of the eclipse, you're bringing the power of this energy that we are talking about today with you for an entire year. That becomes your new energy signature. So really, really powerful stuff. All right, let me just check in here for a moment. Alice, hello, beautiful. Is releasing fear and procrastination continue to bring through alignment and abundance and pure love? It's not letting me see more of this comment since I'm on my phone, but beautiful stuff, holding space for you. I love that. Lisa is releasing any and all old beliefs that are ineffective for my new life and growth. Holding space for you, goddess. Beautiful. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of powerful releasing and letting go. Okay, so to go back to this T-square formation that's happening at the time of the eclipse, and again, just to explain a little what that is, it's that opposition between the sun and the moon, and they're squaring over to Mars and Pisces. So we are feeling into the energy of transcendence, connecting to our higher self, who we are beyond this physical body, like a whole new spiritual awakening. Now, this can present in its shadow form too, and we may experience a little bit of both. So even leading up to the eclipse, you may be feeling extra emotional, more sensitive. You may be feeling like you're kind of lost in a fog or a haziness, like you know these big changes are unfolding in your life, but the path isn't clear. You're not sure what direction to go. That's the Piscean energy too. You may feel like lost in a sense of illusion, lost in your fears and your doubts, and just overtaken with emotion. Pisces is extremely sensitive, and we recently had Mercury move into the sign of Cancer, activating more of this water energy, which is emotional. It feels things so deeply. So what I always say with our emotions is they are a powerful guidance system. Our emotions are an indicator of what we have been thinking about, where our mindset is. They're also an indicator of our point of attraction. So the signal we are sending out, the frequency we are sending out into the universe. So it's both of those things, and in that way, emotions are really powerful. At the same time, we don't want to get lost in the emotion, because emotions come and go, they fluctuate. And if we get too pulled in to the feeling aspect of things, it's like we can feel like we're on a roller coaster, like we're up and down. And that can make this time, the full moon or even leading up to it, a very emotional time where you just feel lost and confused and uncertain. Like that can present as well. So if you are there, the best thing you can do is surrender and not get caught up in old, outdated stories or paradigms that no longer serve you. Because that's usually when we feel that sense of just overwhelm or confusion, right? As we're trying to figure it all out, we're trying to make sense of it, we're getting caught up with every emotion we have instead of just stepping back and being the observer And remembering emotions come and go, they do not define you. And we want to work with Neptune energy, Piscean energy in its highest expression, which is about transcendence. It's remembering who you really are on a soul level, how powerful you are. You are so creative. You are so powerful. You are so divinely guided. That's the energy you want to connect into. Not so much the other energy that can be there as well of getting lost in the emotion, lost in old stories, allowing that to pull you in. It's time to rise above that. And this lunar eclipse is really, it's opening that portal, that opportunity to say, I'm ready to step into my next level. I'm ready to expand and receive what is really possible for me when I'm truly grounded in my power. And I know my worth and I know my value. And it's, again, innate worthiness. You've done enough. You are ready to receive, really connecting into that energy. So if you're just jumping on now, say hi so I can welcome you in and share what you are releasing and letting go of in this full moon energy. And that's why the releasing element is so powerful here, because this is just a series of eclipses. So when we move into the solar eclipse, if we've done the releasing and the healing work with this lunar eclipse, we're really ready to step into that next phase of our journey. So this is that beautiful opportunity to say, what no longer is going with me? What feels like baggage that I've just been carrying around that it's time to fully let go of? Where am I caught in the ego mind, old doubts, old fears, thinking that for me to feel whole and complete and worthy, it's dependent on what I achieve? Or yeah, that sense of like, I have to achieve this to be worthy, and just letting go of all of those stories. And as you do that, you'll find a newfound sense of peace and comfort, because there is that strong spiritual element with this lunar eclipse that is also inviting you to surrender and trust in divine timing. And when I talk about trusting in divine timing, it's not that we necessarily just sit back and do nothing. We are part of this co-creative journey. So we do our part to stay in alignment. So what gets you into that space of feeling good? What gets you into that space of feeling aligned to your higher self? Is it meditation? Is it listening to positive podcasts? Is it spending time in nature? Is it journaling? Is it spending time with friends? What is it that puts you into that space of alignment? You do your part to calibrate to the desires that you have and what you desire to attract. And then divine timing is you release the need to know how or when it is going to happen. Because it is not your job to figure out the how or the when. It's your job to calibrate to what it is you desire to call in. And the universe will deliver it in perfect time. It will deliver it in a time where you are aligned and you are ready to receive it. And that timing is so much better than we are often able to see from our human perspective, because it's coming from that larger perspective. So let me know if this is resonating. Thank you so much for the hearts. That means so much. So encouraging. Thank you. All right. So other things, if you do know your birth chart, some really good points to look at in your chart is 16 degrees Sagittarius would be a starting point. What house does that fall for you? Also look at the opposite of that, Gemini, and look at where Pisces falls in your chart. And that will give you an idea of these energies. And if you need help with that, then that's a beautiful opportunity to jump in my program, Explore Your Divine Blueprint with the Power of Astrology, where you will learn how to read your birth chart. I'll walk you through it step by step, how to manifest by connecting to that energy in your chart. And there's also a VIP option where you can get a private session with me, so we can dive in deep in your chart together and really see how these eclipses are playing out for you, like what areas of your life they are activating, what unique portals are being open for you to step into. So message if you are interested in this. Is a really good flash sale that I'm doing now in this course, so you can access for $111, or the VIP is available for $333. So super doable if you are an astrology lover and you are feeling that call to learn more. Okay, let me check in for a moment here. Feel free to ask any questions that you have here as well. Elizabeth, I am releasing old food choices and habits, the need to look for love outside of me. Beautiful. Devin, I love that affirmation. My body is worthy even when it's not in its healthiest state. Yes. Yes, love and acceptance is so, so key, always, of course. But we are feeling that around this full moon, and with that Piscean energy, with Mars and Pisces being in that square formation right now, really, really feeling that energy powerfully of loving and accepting where you are today, right? And it doesn't mean that that doesn't change. It's like when we accept where we are, when we accept who we are, we release resistance. It's like we can breathe again. We release resistance and we open ourselves up for new opportunities. It's like, I think it was Carl Jung. I love Carl Jung's quotes. He's like, the curious paradox is when I accept myself as I am, then I am able to change. It's through acceptance we release resistance and we open the doorway for change to occur. So that deep love and acceptance is so key right now, and that remembering that you can get from wherever you are to wherever you desire to be. Leanne, I'm a beginner. Where would you say to start? Yes, yeah, beginner astrology. I love it because there's endless learning with astrology. We can always go deeper. So in Explore Your Divine Blueprint, the digital course I'm doing right now, it is set up for beginners. Like wherever you are in your journey, I will walk you through how to get your chart and the different aspects of your chart that you want to read and understand that will really help you gain insight into your soul path, your soul purpose, gifts and talents you bring in from past lifetimes, your unique manifesting style, even how the archetypes in your chart are connected to the goddess energy. It walks you through like step by step, so you don't need any previous knowledge of astrology in order to dive in and do that. Just an overall good place to start if you're looking for like an understanding of astrology is always beginning with your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. Understanding where those are like the cornerstone of our charts, is knowing our sun, our moon, and rising. All right, so I've got the chart behind me, so I'm just gonna feel in and see if I missed anything else that's really coming through. Okay, so one other thing to share. Yes, I do want to talk about this actually. Okay, more to share. All right, so the ruler of this lunar eclipse is Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion, of good fortune and abundance. And right now it is in retrograde motion. So it's helping us understand and appreciate on a deep level that we create our own luck. We create our own good fortune by how we choose to show up in the world. And it is retrograding in Capricorn conjunct Pluto. And this theme, you've probably heard me talk about this theme if you've been following my videos, because it's been playing out for a little while now, definitely throughout 2020, even the end of 2019. Where we are breaking down old systems and old structures that no longer fit in our society and where we're going. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It will destroy to recreate. And we've been in that process of breaking down what isn't working in order to create something better. And Jupiter conjunct Pluto right now, and especially being activated at this lunar eclipse, is placing a spotlight on what is no longer working in our society. What's no longer working as a collective. There's no more hiding. When Jupiter transits aspects of our chart, it's a spotlight on it. It puts a spotlight on what we need to change, what we need to adjust in order to fully move forward. So we're continuing to see and go throughout 2020, especially kicking off with this. It has actually been ongoing, but we're going to see it with this lunar eclipse as well. It's like a breakdown of what no longer is working in our society, so we can create structures and systems that are aligned and supportive of who we really are, and more connected into our higher truth, more about inclusivity, more connected to our soul, like beyond our ego and the fears our ego put out there, and more aligned to the energy of love. We are leaning in that direction as a collective, and it's really beautiful. And I know it may not always feel that way or seem that way, but with this energy, first, it's a breaking down in order to rebuild. And we often see that play out in our personal life too. It's like for me to fully move forward, it's like we come to this moment where we fully surrender and we realize that what we're doing or where we are isn't going to work anymore. And we have this opportunity to let go and to heal so we can fully then move forward. So we're going through that individually, and we have been this throughout 2020, and we're going through it collectively as well. And this lunar eclipse is really placing a spotlight on that in a powerful way. Hi, Kristen, welcome. All right, so I'm glad I checked this chart out again, just to give that refresher to talk about this Jupiter energy and this breaking down to rebuild. So some main takeaways from this: it's obviously a powerful energy, activating new portals, new opportunities, expanding your capacity to receive what you desire. That's a big part of it too when we're looking at Jupiter and Sagittarius, right? The forefront of this eclipse is expansion. Do you have the space to receive the things you desire? Expanding into that. But it's a very collective energy too. So as a collective, we are expanding, we are growing, we are collectively experiencing these new intuitive hits and downloads and new ways of sharing information and knowledge and new ways of receiving it. So if you're feeling that call to just like step up and share what's on your heart, now is the time to do it. There's no better time than for you to step up and share, because for each of us, we are also more open-minded right now. We're more willing to learn and hear new and diverse perspectives. And again, we're stepping away from this idea of like the one guru or leader with all these followers, and that's the person that has the say. And it's more teachers popping up in all different areas with all different expertise, and we're learning from them. It's a really beautiful, beautiful time. Beautiful, exciting time for sure. All right, so thank you for hanging out today. Thank you for sharing in this energy with me. I feel like there'll probably be more that I'm jumping on and sharing around this throughout eclipse season, because I'm already feeling the power of this transformation and the downloads that are coming in for the collective, and just the rising up, that connecting to our higher self, and especially where this is like activating a new portal. This is a new eclipse point. These are new energies in a lot of ways. So I guess before I finish up, I want to say this as well. This is like new energies that we're working with here. So we're kind of like feeling our way into how this is all going to play out, and especially with this T-square that's in effect at the time of the eclipse. It's not necessarily a time where like we receive all the answers and all the solutions, but it's not about that. It's a time where we are preparing for this new journey. We're preparing to receive these new activations, and we don't have to fully figure it out. Our job is to have faith and trust in the unfolding process and do our job each step of the way. Do our job in that co-creative journey, whether that's something we are called to share with the world, speaking out, sharing our truth, whether it's stepping back and surrendering and trusting our desires are coming to us in perfect timing always, or whether it's continuing to calibrate to the energy of what we desire to call in. We do our part, we surrender the rest to the universe. All right, awesome stuff here. Thank you again for hanging out. Kristen, this is saying, yesterday I saw the number 1111, and last night I woke up in the middle of the night, right with my mind just going full speed. Oh, well, let me see the rest of this on my phone. I'm gonna come back and read that, Kristen. I love that, the angel numbers. And yeah, sleep leading up to this, you may find your sleep's a little bit interrupted, like you have more energy at night, like it's harder to fall asleep. You may be finding like lucid dreaming is happening more readily, so keeping a journal by your bed. You're gonna receive a lot of activations and downloads in your sleep. There definitely, with all this Piscean energy that's being activated, sleep in some way is coming in. And probably with a full moon as we lead up to it, it may be again like feeling tired, but it's like your body's tired, but there's that restless energy of not quite being able to fall asleep. Like there's a little bit of that, but just you know, be patient with it, because there is a lot of downloads that are coming through and being activated. Tammy, amazing information. Thank you. I'm so glad this resonated with you. Lisa, it's like my younger, truer self is awakening and it gets to join in with the wisdom I have collected. Ooh, I like that. So fun. Yeah, it's like we're merging all the different aspects and parts of ourselves are coming together and it's, oh, so exciting. Love that energy. All right, goddesses. So if you would like to go further with this astrological wisdom, I do have the flash sale on Explore Your Divine Blueprint with the Power of Astrology, which is a digital course. I have that on until the end of the month, which I believe is only like a couple days away now. So you can access that for $111 if you want to dive in and learn more about your chart. And there is a VIP option where you get a private session with me and we dive into your birth chart together. So just message if you would like the link for that. Sending so much love your way. Enjoy these powerful energies and I will see you all soon. Bye.